All right, we'll keep it moving, but we're going to stick with the finance side of KTM and Ducati. I mean, it's I didn't mean to stack them against each other because for the last 3 years, Ducati's made over $1 billion a year in revenue, which is pretty impressive.
KTM's lost $3 billion a year in revenue.
so KTM has lost three. For Ducati, it's pretty impressive to be able to do that. Is that a huge for the motorcycle industry and they sold like, I don't know, under 60,000 bikes. So it's not like they sold 20 billion bikes or anything like that. Is that a huge deal for Ducati to be able to do that?
It's a huge deal. It's money. The more money you make, the better company could do, currently and in the future. So yeah, huge deal. And especially being that KTM is losing money, it is a huge deal. Honda's still making money. So is Ducati, Aprilia. I don't know how they make money because to be honest, on the streets, I don't see any bikes at all, really. Maybe it's me just not being out in that zone anymore, but I never seen anybody on Aprilia in the streets at all. I don't see dealerships, but they're still there racing. So
do you see Piaggio
their money?
Do you see Piaggio?
You tell me.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I got a Piaggio, man.
Yeah, I got.
Take it down.
You can't hear me. I think you might not be able to hear us. Yeah. I think. I don't
hear
think
me.
We can hear you.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean that you might have to just pull out and just remove yourself and add yourself. But he can't hear us, right?
I see Piaggios everywhere.
Yeah. So
but you're in California.
I'm not in California. I'm in Florida.
I mean, I'm sure you see Vespers everywhere.
Exactly. I see Vespers.
Still don't hear shit.
That's unfortunate.
That's that Atlanta shit. That's that Atlanta shit.
What are your thoughts, Reese, on what Ducati's has done financially, being able to do that for a small company, not too much bigger than what Aprilia is?
Okay, so let me see how I'm gonna approach this one for you. So, I mean, it is great to see them do that. It is one hell of a feat for a motorcycle industry to see them. Is it good for the motorcycle industry? Yes and no, because it doesn't do nothing for the other four big brands. But I could say this coming from a dealer perspective, working in a dealership for so many years and seeing it. And it's the same old added question that you get, people, and Lou probably will know the same thing. But a lot of the young guys coming up, or even the old guys coming in, when they go to buy a Jap brand, and we're at what for an R1 or a CBR, we're at $18,000 some odd $1,000, after tax fees and all that, you're like 20 grand. So the added is why should I buy this R1 or Gixxer or CBR when I can go spend a couple more $1,000 and be part of what they call the elite brand of the Ducati and have a faster bike. So that's always what's happened. A lot of guys will buy the elite brand instead of the old brand because nothing has changed. And so for Ducati to do what they have done to sell it, yes, it's great because people are buying it. And, I respect it with their hustle and everything they've done. And, it makes everybody else step their game up a little bit or try to. But it's also nice for Ducati when you got that Volkswagen company with Lamborghini sitting behind you, splotting out a whole bunch of cash. And a lot of people are like, no, they're not. I'm like, well, you got to look how many Lamborghini editions they put out. And trust me, they sell out every year that Lamborghini edition comes.
Yeah, no, I think Ducati lucked out being purchased by a car company or a company that actually want them to succeed. Because we've seen other companies get bought and ripped apart and sold, and
well, there's a lot of car companies that own manufacturers like the rights, or like I found out, I didn't even know for years. Toyota owns part of Yamaha.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Well, where are they at?
What are your thoughts, Mr. Finance?
All right, so let me get a little bit. So what Ducati's done is impressive, but you do have to understand that overall sales compared to the year prior were down about 6%. So even though they sold over 50,000 units in 2024, they were down 6% from 2023. Now, 2022 and 2023 had, especially in the US market, which is a very big market for Ducati, we had that influx of fake money due to COVID and so forth. And a lot of people had pent up spending anguish. They just wanted to get money out in 21, 22, even trickled over a little to 23. 24, even though they crested over 50,000 units sold, they were still down about 6% from the previous year. Mm-hmm. But it still shows that there is a market for these specific bikes. You know, they keep investing in these bikes and giving people a reason to buy these motorcycles. And 50,000 units might not seem like a lot, but it is a huge amount when you think about the fact that the average price of a Ducati is almost $20,000. So, you know, it's not like you're buying $7,000 or $8,000 CBR 500s or Ninja 400s or things like that. Like, you're buying a premium motorcycle. You're spending on average about $20,000. So 50,000 motorcycles at $20,000 on average is a very good return on investment. And if they can keep that 50,000 unit average, they'll do very, very well for the next 2, 3, 4 years. The thing is that's helping them is they're the only company that's actively, constantly developing bikes in this segment. Okay. On top of all the other segments they're getting into, you know, now they have a motocross bike or a dirt bike, and that's going to have a couple of different variants. It's going to have a trail version. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. They keep investing in the right markets. Their multistrada is adaptable to a couple of different types of riding. Their V2 motor and their V4 motor are going into a lot of different platforms. And this is what they're doing that nobody else is doing. None of the Jap bike companies are doing this. All the Jap bike companies are focusing on volume at a lower price versus quality and technology and performance at a higher price. Because at $20,000, this has always been the problem. At $20,000, would you rather buy a Ducati V4 or buy a fucking 15-year-old piece of shit R1 again?
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, when, you know, Wendy's meal is $15 today, there's a lot of inflation happening. So, I mean, how much of that is inflation versus just having a more expensive brand?
Yeah, but you can't blame it all on inflation, because if you rolling out the same old shit box for 15 years and telling me it costs more to make it, well, how's this company making something better and newer and more different? For that, you know, and this is where the used bike market comes in. People always complain, oh, you know, if you want to vote with your dollars, go to the dealership and buy a bike. Well, guess what, man? If I buy today's bike, I could buy an 8-year-old bike that looks exactly like today's bike.
But hold on now,
which almost all this,
the new one.
Man, this shit got a fucking ZX6 front end and 2 wings. It's the same shit box underneath.
Oh, like it's a fucking
winglet. New ZX10. This shit got a ZX6 front end and 2 wings that look like they got them from Temu.
I like
it. Bullshit, man.
Yeah, but we'll talk about KTM after this. But I'll say this: the used motorcycle market, because I do pay attention to it. It needs to come down because the prices are so close to brand new. When you say 8-year-old bike, the 8-year-old bikes that are like $3,000 less than a new bike.
Yeah, no, and that's that. I mean, that is that's a positive and a negative, because if the price is high and I can get a new bike for $3,000 more, then you're going to probably sell a new bike in place of that. But also, if the prices are high in the used market, it deters new riders from getting into the market. Because I would like to get an R6, but people are still asking $15,000 for a 7-year-old R6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The prices are too high.
Mm-hmm. I can't get a CBR 600 because they don't exist. So I got to buy a 2009 CBR 600 that's beat to shit, and they still want $7,000 for it. Like, this is the problem, man. Like, we don't have a used market that can pull in new people, and we don't have a new market priced competitive to give people a reason to buy new. And it's all the Japanese brands. Whereas Ducati, even though they're a little bit more expensive, every couple of years they give you a reason to buy a new Ducati. We went from a V2 to a V4. We went from a V4 this to a V4 that. We do, they actually hurt themselves because they're constantly bringing out so many new models that they devalue the products that are old. But that's also a good thing, because when they devalue the products that are old, this gives somebody a pathway to get a used Ducati, to start on a used Ducati, and eventually buy a new Ducati.
Right.
Till they get to that Desmo service and then want to sell that.
Yeah, until they get hit with that one Desmo, they'll be like, what?
It's not that bad.
Concussed.